catching, like you kind of figure out, and I think when they start doing stuff, they figure out stuff that they like some guys need to feel more here with posture, right? Like you used to be more like this, like other guys like to stay a lot more like straight back, you know what I mean? Lets them operate, and then they don't get that movement. So I think with these, like being as still as possible and just only your arm. And then something like we're talking about is not necessarily trying to, like these outside ones, how he's kind of extending straight through, he's not necessarily bringing back to the middle. So he's not trying to pull it. So like that's a word that like I would use as a negative, like do not pull.
Where are you taking that? Straight through the block. You're not bringing it back to the middle. You go straight out through the kick.
Because if you think from an umpire's perspective, if you can visually see inches of movement of the glove. You can't see two. That's the biggest thing I notice with kids in pro ball, college, every level, right? Like, guys want to move the ball feet. Like umpires don't like that. We see that all the time.
So it comes back to your stop.
It comes stop the ball. If you're bringing the pitches to the head, when you're thinking receiving, you're making borderline pitches, secured strikes. Balls are balls. There's really nothing you can do about that. Like the umpires are good enough that they know what's a ball. It's the pitches that are like just this like borderline realm.
So if you're going for the yellow flag and you're on the black, what is your action outside of your hand? Turn it over to throw it out, or is it just?
If you have to turn your hand this way, it's a ball.
Right. So like.
So everything I'm trying to let my elbow almost like.
I mean, logistically, I could catch a ball like that. Like the only way I'm going turned over this way is like emergency catch.
Right. So you track it.
Well, and it's just
So
big.
like I get the block and I stop, and after that point, I'm not concerned anymore. I'm just catching it and keep going.
It's a ball.
I mean, I always think it's a good habit to like receive like balls well. But I'm not gonna like a pitch that like is here that I think I can get a strike. I'm gonna hold probably a second or two versus this one I'll catch it fine, but I'm just gonna throw it back.
Liam brought up that like Eli the other night was the first time he had anything with run on.
Sure.
So
that's a good question,
so
and
am
I
I
think.
getting backed in here, or am I seeing that and trying
Well, so that's a great question. That's depending on where you're at as a catcher. Like we talk about, like your big things pre-pitch move. If I know I have a sinker and I know Liam's pretty good with it, my pre-pitch is going to be catered towards that pitch. So I'm naturally like I might come if I would go back, like maybe I go back to my left knee instead of middle, right? Like, and that's too late where somebody's not going to be able to steal that, like in the dugout. You know what I mean? And say sinker. You know what I mean? Or even like. Okay, I have a hard righty curveball or a hard righty slider. Like I'm gonna kind of angle my shoulders slightly, so now that pitch that's coming here, now instead of the pitch that's gonna take that velocity is gonna take me, and I have to fight it. Now I create a little bit more of that angle.
So it was exactly what you were just doing that drove me nuts in school. Our like second line catcher was anything that took him outside of his range, he lost.
Yeah.
It looks like he never.
And I think that's another thing, like you look at guys, like you look at any pro high-level catcher, square for the most part.
Yeah.
Even when this angle, like I'm still square. Where you see younger kids, they're gonna get like this is, I'd say the idea. This is the younger on a knee. So something like if you're teaching guys on a knee, like put a med ball underneath them, like run underneath their nuts. Make them sit on the med ball, that'll teach them like kind of a proper spacing.
All you want is big chesting. You just don't want.
Yeah, I think everybody's
like it's just umpire's perspective. So like if I'm the umpire, he's my catcher, and the plate is and the plate's there, and he's here and catches that pitch on the corner. To me, that looks like it could be outside.
Yeah.
But you catch that same pitch.
You got a great visual.
Now I'm like, that looks right down the middle, and it's on the glass.
Just to your speaking point, I was saying like trying to avoid the do's and the don'ts. Like don't do this, do that. It's sit on this med ball. What are they looking to feel for?
Yeah.
Staying tall.
Just staying relaxed, like relaxed shoulders. Yeah, being relaxed, comfortable. Like I don't want anything. Once anything is like tenses up here, I'm gonna make that little jabby move, right? And then I'm gonna get out here and I'm gonna get in that unstable position. Where if I can stay like relaxed a bit more. And again, you're gonna have some guys who are more comfortable a little bit here. You know what I mean? You're gonna have guys who are a little bit more.
But you weren't turned in. You just
Correct.
that
that's
was
just
not,
posture.
yeah.
Yeah, that's just. And again, it might be slightly based on the pitch. Like, hey, I'm ending in very one. Like, yeah, maybe I get a little bit low. You know what I mean? Like, your higher level guys, like Conti, one of our guys, right? Pretty good player. Like, he likes to. I'm not a huge fan of this, but he likes to go here more. You know what I mean? He'll go right these sometimes. So, like, for me, I'm gonna teach these kids everything. And kind of almost let, like, Ethan, when he, I don't know, like, so you met Ethan, like, I don't know if you met Ethan when you went up there, right? So, like, Ethan and I have kind of learned all of this together. Ethan's, like, an elite receiver, right? Elite receiver, elite thrower. He's just 5'4". But, like, a lot of this stuff is, hey, let me figure out what I like. Let me figure out what I don't like. Let me figure out what I can do. So, like, I'm gonna teach guys, we're gonna throw from a knee. Like, we're gonna learn to throw from a knee. We may never do it in a game, but why wouldn't we try and learn and figure it out? In case a situation happens where a ball takes me here and I have to do it, if I never practice it, like if I'm a shortstop and I never practice a diving play, probably not gonna make a good diving play. You know what I mean? So like little things like that I think are important. Like even if they suck in it, even if they're uncomfortable with it, like then they're gonna decipher. Because catching is so much confidence, like they need to be confident that you can do it. You know what I mean? Like if you have that one ounce like lack of confidence, that's the ball that tips off your glove. You know what I mean? So like the ability to train and do different things and kind of figure out what you like and don't like, I think is so important. Obviously younger guys, like you're doing this, and this. I'm saying like more a high school age kid, you know, Eli's probably that borderline, but Eli's a kid who we've done a ton of stuff, and we just find like he likes to do this, right? Like that kind of where that can get you in trouble is if you do it late, right? And then it's late and pushy, and that's where I can see like if somebody wouldn't like it because it's late. So like I would say like pre-pitch, I know you said so that's like the first thing we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Then like we use this, we might put it on a slope, like and just put them on top. Or put it behind, you can do it on top and just feel like that action of your thumb kind of riding that slope a little bit. I know you said
Yeah,
one.
so you would set one up where he was just rolling it down the
Perfect.
mountain. So
Same
they
idea.
had the whole,
Exact idea.
okay.
Just
And
a different variation.
what's the feel that you're looking to get out of that?
The direction.
Just staying up the slope. Again, it's thinking like if you think hitting, I think it's like if you think hitting, right? Pitch is gonna come at a slightly like -7 degrees. Like I need to catch at that like that same angle. That is physics. Like that's how you're going to maintain your strongest position. If it's a curveball, I'm going to be a little bit more uphill based on that pitch. If it's a two-seamer, right? I got to know and that's where like I'm a fan of. I know you said like 3 o'clock. I'm more like 1 and 4, 1 and 5. Like if I were to throw you a basketball or throw you a football, how would you catch it? Like this, or you catch it like this? You know what I mean? So like. That's a natural kind of position. In that position, my pocket's going to be angled slightly. Some guys might be a little bit better here. You know what I mean? Like Aaron Susi.
That was more presentation. So if you come back to that point, the kid that I was saying that was getting beat, he was presenting here.
Yeah, like personally, I would be okay with that.
But you can keep it there.
Correct.
He was getting it.
And then go with it. You know what I mean? Like he catches sometimes like. He's like that because that's what he's trying to feel. You know what I mean? Like,
It comes down to it, your pitchers don't give a shit.
I don't think pitchers care.
Breaking strikes for him.
Yeah.
Like if you're pulling pitches off the ground, if you're down here with your glove like this, you're getting that every time, and they can just shit. Like, you can be like, that guy catches here. You're like, no, I want that guy behind the phone. Like,
And so much of it
I
is
think
the stance.
big difference in this conversation that we're having is more of the guys that you're doing this work with are closer to him. Most of the guys the majority of our guys are closer to like a 12, 13 year old.
Yeah, so I do a lot of the same stuff with those kids.
It's more on my ways to get these baselines.
Yeah.
That way I can start in the right spot.
Yeah, so I think you do the med ball stuff, right? And all you're trying to do is, like, if you're talking to a young kid, I'm not worried about making ball strikes. I'm worried about not making strikes balls.
I wanted to have the same term with you, which is stop the ball. Being
Yeah,
ball is
I think stop it. Stop it is super important.
Yeah.
Something like just to go back like to presenting like this, like I do get there in my pre-pitch, but I show target. When the pitcher lifts his leg, that's my timing cue, and then now it's my time. Once he lifts his leg, he's already picked up his spot. He knows where he's going. So I'm here. He's got what he wants, or whatever but once he lifts his leg, it's my turn, and I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what you're looking for.
Waiting for
It's always show.
But what he's talking about is what something he's developed that he has feel for now.
Sure.
It was a consensus here, and snap to where I'm going. Didn't seem smooth. It was
So that's where it's like, okay, he's showing, I'm gonna show. Once he kind of gets into his pitcher movement, like he said, that's my time. That's where I'm gonna relax. And then I think just teaching it where it's gonna be forearm there. Like, but again, a lot of that comes from the pre-work of doing it. You know what I mean? If you don't want him to do that, then just say, all right, hey, we're just gonna show. Or you can, to simplify, hey, we're gonna start here. We're not even gonna show first. We're just gonna start here, and we're gonna move. We're gonna make one move to the ball. One move to the ball. But I think a lot of that comes down to like when you're doing your pre-work with your lead-ups, like in teaching the moves, right? It's the same again. Going back to
the
hitting.
next direction would be like the machine or like the
No.
feet.
So with not with him, with the younger guys, then they would partner up. Like, or if it was just me, they would have those, and we would just roll. So we'd slide on the ground, and I'd alternate like heavy, light, and be the same, just going here. And the feeling is just extending through the ball, letting it get deeper, and then extending through the speed.
Yeah, he's not extending that. He's not extending it all until that's the ball's in his hand.
He's trying to like
Taking it and then pushing it
through with speed. Yep. So that would be the next one.
That's what I'm saying. Like there was some of the kids were like
Yeah.
locking.
Yep.
Then
Yeah. And that's where I think like you put the line, like that's why that's good. Like your target, I'll tell them, like I do this one Saturday mornings with 3 11-year-olds. Like you can't move your thumb past your knee line until it's time to work through the speed. And some of that is like, they're not great, but like they have to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like as you're kind of going through it, they have to figure, because if they don't feel comfortable and like convince themselves like, okay, that's it. They're gonna do it once, it might be great, but then when you're not around, they're just gonna go back to the same way. So I think like, really like to put, and I get it, not everybody's like as talented, but like you need to put a little bit of the ownership in the player's hands. Like I think that's very, very important.
what we come back to is asking how did that feel? What did you feel out of it?
Yeah,
That way it's not what I'm telling them what to do, it's what was the feedback.
yeah. So I guess like, so this would be the next thing. So we'll do this and then I'll
Start with roll.
Yeah, so we just do the same thing with baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. So we do that. Same idea. Now we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna do it short hop. So really force ourselves to stay down and feel through it. And with the young kids, a good way to get them to feel this, what I'll do is have an angle, just like a backhand.
Yeah.
Like you're feeling backhand.
Yep.
And it's that same kind of.
It's really not different than your
It's literally every day.
Yeah.
It's infielder every day. That's all it is.
That's why I don't hate.
And like if they miss them, like you can have them do the paddle.
Yeah,
You
that's
get a
what
paddle?
I was about to say. It's not about actually catching the ball. Most
No.
little like kids, their hands are too small to like palm a baseball. But I only like you could do it like without even closing your hand.
Yeah, just boom.
Like
You're
I just want
trying to figure
that
it out.
short. I want you to wait for.
flat mitts.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
paddle. That's
we
what I'm
have
saying.
it.
Like we use that. Like I use that more for blocking, but like you can
It's
do
all
it.
about
It's the same.
That
Oh,
that you see, like it's not. I'm not going here. It just.
You're going through the ball.
correct.
I'm just going right to the ball.
It's back in. It's back to you every day.
Yeah.
It's just every day. And then then I might like the other I'll do different bounces. So like try and get them like, so they have to understand, they have to feel it. Okay, you gotta understand the different timings of it. You know what I mean? You can't, every pitch isn't gonna be the same. And then after that, we go, yeah.
And again, like not worried about catching the ball, just making the fastest, shortest move possible.
And then if we're receiving, then we would just hop on the machine. And we would do the exact, so we'd start off machine, short hop, not super fast, nice and soft. And you could even start backhand, but it'd be the same exact thing. With a glove, obviously you're gonna feel that extension more. And they're gonna, like if they're two out here, like you said, like they're gonna feel that fall forward, where that's where I think like shoulders back, like almost like that left cheek could almost be like on your left heel, where now I can just let it work through. Like feel that flexion through the ball. We'll hop on the machine. I know you mentioned like transfers and footwork.
Yeah, so the machine feed is just more of the similar action.
Yeah,
but
it's gonna be. I mean, it'd probably be good for you to see it. Him with a glove doing it. I mean, obviously his is gonna be really good.
Yeah.
Mine would probably be better, but just feeling he was 4 years younger than me, but like this is where like you can mess around glove stuff.
Yeah.
Right, like so okay, I'm gonna just have my thumb kind of work on the ground. I'm just gonna make figure eights, and I'm gonna feel different. Okay, I gotta move from the ground. Right? I gotta put, like, you watch Real Muto, like, he's a guy who, like, kind of like, if they feel themselves go up early, he's gonna almost, like, push his glove into the ground. He does the thing where if he feels himself coming up early, he extends his hand. Like, he doesn't even really realize it, I don't think, but, like, his hand kind of spreads to keep him beneath the ball. And that's why I think pre-pitch, like, you see so many guys they're just here. Because they're trying to fight that urge. I think every catcher, every baseball player's urge, like, this is easy. You know what I mean? So, the longer you can stay here, you know, the better off we're going to be. Even if we're training, like even if we're late on some balls, but we're kind of making that good move, that good direct short move to the ball, like that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Like your time in the cage.
What you just said is so important. Everybody thinks that you have to like make that loud like every time you catch the ball, but it's not going to happen. Like in a game, there's no way. But you can still make pitches look good without squaring up the baseball. And I think that's important, like no matter what, to just focus on your move versus like trying to like be so perfect with what you're doing.
And like even to go say like you could do all this stuff, like you could use tennis balls. Tennis balls are gonna make it harder because they're gonna be softer. You could use, I mean you can't do the bounces, but you can do receiving just like little wiffle balls. You know what I mean? So I think that's something
do you do any of this?
Not really anymore.
No.
I did that a lot when I was playing. I like this more because I'm not really like this doesn't necessarily show like I want to catch like this, and it's probably gonna hit me if I'm like that.
I think these other two, like what they would do is you would be set up like that, and so you'd have one.
Yeah.
Like for receiving, and like our coach was coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Something different. Yeah. Like to be honest, a lot of the stuff I do, fucking makeup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have to be creative in what you're doing. Like, so maybe I'll take something that he and I do, and I'll like just do it to a lot easier. You know, with a younger kid, I'll do the exact same drill, but we'll just do it slower, or you know, more broken down. But like the verbiage is always going to be pretty much the exact same. Like that's just how like, and I'm gonna pretty much like hitting, coaching. Like I'm gonna coach the 12-year-old the same way. Now it's obviously going to be different, but for the most, I'm going to try and give him the same information that I can give him, or that I can give Ethan, or that I can give Matt Conti. Like they might not be able to process it all. You know, we may do a little bit less at a time, but it's going to be, you know, okay, well, him you can go through. Okay, well, let's do everything. We're going to block. We're going to receive. We're going to do short hop transfers. We're going to do back picks. We're a younger kid. Like okay, today we're going to focus on receiving. We're going to do receiving the whole time. We're not going to jump around it. Like let's try and be really good at receiving. And I think that should be your focus. Like the focus of being a catcher, like, is catching. So I got this from Trez at BC a few years ago. He'd send me a thing, and you receive 99% of the pitches in the game. You throw the one, but every catcher wants to catch it, like wants to throw it. If you can't receive, you're going to be out of the game. You know, Like, got on my 12-year-old catcher the other night, like he didn't catch balls. Like, hey, you can't catch. Like, you're gonna play a different position. But I think just focusing on like these drills are so important, and like implementing them. It's not all on you guys. Like if they're coming and catching once a week with you guys, like that's great. But like you need to enforce them. Like you need to do this shit every single day. You're not getting better doing it once a week. Nobody is.
That's two things that I always tell the guys is you can do your footwork and you can do your receiving at home every single day. There's no excuse for that. All it takes is like doing a shadow drill, like for footwork, like getting your footwork down, like having that muscle memory. You don't even need a ball, you don't need anybody else to throw anything to you, like that's simple. And then two, like everybody's got a tennis ball and a wall in the garage that they can do this at to get that move down for hours. I mean, that's
I think a simple thing. Like you just grab, like that's another way you can start. Like that's why I say when we don't have a ton of space, get tennis balls, go against the pile wall, throw a tennis ball against the wall, mess around with different hops. Like be a kid.
yeah.
Like it's
really
not always, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you need
just-
just be an athlete. You know what I mean? Figure like let it kind of self-organize, like we were talking about. But I think that's something like that you have to really stress. Like if you want to catch, like I don't care if you're 12 years old, if you want to catch, like this is hard, this is serious. So you need to be committed to doing it all the time. Even if you're 10, even if you're 12, like you need to love doing it because not every like, and that's the same thing. Like if you've gotten into blocking, I'm not big, like he never blocks. Like I'm not, obviously we block, we talk about form, but at the end of the day, how many blocks you seen in the game where a guy blocked it and the coach was like, hey, no, you needed to do this better when they blocked it? Never. Like, keep the ball in front of you. You know what I mean? Obviously you have to teach fundamentally different positioning, but like you're either gonna block or you're not. You know what I mean? Like it's a mentality thing. All right, that was a tangent.
So transfer and footwork down to second base.
Yeah, so I say what I teach all the guys is the first thing we do before we even talk about feet is to transfer and back to infield stuff. Like if you're every good infielder takes the ball out of their glove where out in front. So everything we do transfer wise is no movement. Like first we're just gonna start.
Well, actually, before we go any further, are you here?
No.
So
Either you go tell them where you were at.
I'm on my waist here with my thumb tucked in my hand. Just for two reasons. For blocking, it's already there. And that's the one thing I see with kids is this hand is always out and they don't know what to do with that hand. And they all want to go like this and then they get back. So that is really simple. And then it's also, as you lift up, it's right there.
Yeah.
You're never going to like catch a ball like this in the game. Like you just not.
Just bounce. All right, so that like it just make sure it's wherever your gloves at, kind of fighting by your
Yeah,
glove.
I mean, I would have had it here. I mean,
Yeah.
I got hit and broke all this shit, so that's why I started hiding it. On that hand?
That was a bat. He went down.
Oh, see, no, like the
Or
ball
you-
hit me here. I like pushed it.
Yeah. Or I would do like some guys like ankle more, like just here I would go ankle. The big thing like you'll see with younger kids is they want to hold your hand when they go to catch, like they do that.
Yeah.
Just make sure it's a fist. And then again, I would say like with somebody on, I would say this is probably going to be your cleanest place. As long as it's kind of trailing your glove, you know what I mean? Understanding where your glove is. But always a fist. Always a fist. I like the thumb tucked in too. But again, every kid's balance is going to be a little different. So that's just, that right arm is just a balance thing. So like when I was younger, when I was in high school, I went behind the ankle. Then when I got to college, I went more here. And it was just a pure balance, balance that wasn't for any specific reason. But this is definitely easier to do, kind of all that. But transfer-wise, like, so all we're gonna do, we'll start 2 knees, and then we'll do 1 knee. Like sometimes we'll do it standing up, and it's just gonna be turned and no shoulders. Like, I'm just gonna get it there. Just feel it coming out of my hand. And then, like, we progress to, like, turn and kind of holding that position. But, so the way I like to teach the transfer is, my transfer is happening out front, and then my feet are natural. Like, when I create footwork, like, I'm natural. Every guy, even if I replace, so even if I come this way, right, like, I think naturally guys like to gain ground more, you know, coming here. Like I'm naturally gonna turn. So the more in my transfer I get turning, now as I'm moving, now my front side's turn, I can't see, now there's a lot more likely front side's gonna go through a really good two-seamer into right center. So if I can just think about transferring out front, like my feet are gonna go and I'm gonna get to a lot cleaner position. Now are you gonna bring it back a little bit? Yeah, probably. So that's why like we're not gonna work, I don't wanna work on bringing it back at all because I'm just gonna let that naturally happen. So that's pretty simple. So like catch, if you wanna break it down, it'd be like a catch, turn, pull.
Here.
Yeah, and it's gonna be
It's not a direct,
slightly,
it depends
it's
on
gonna
the
be
pitch.
pitch. Pitch location's gonna dictate that. Like, if it's off my my arm side, like, I'm probably just gonna let that pitch, the pitch, like, it turn me. If it takes me close, like, I'm probably gonna have to bring that one back to center. Lower, I'm gonna kinda let that pitch kinda take me. Higher, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit more like on top, almost like the front.
But for drill focus, I'm looking to stay.
No turn though,
Don't, yeah, but you
all
don't
out
wanna-
front,
Yeah, you don't want to bring the,
all here.
you want
Yep.
the bare hand to be the
Boom.
glove, yeah.
Yeah, everything's just out there. Like I would say, like usually their catcher protector is gonna have like a logo. Nothing, don't let it get below your logo. So if you catch it here, you gotta turn it back up. Like just try to turn everything kind of to the logo.
That was exactly what I was looking for. Like, what's
Yeah.
the focus point?
Yeah,
that they
I'd say
can
logo.
That's good.
And then like a blocking focus point's gonna be like belly button every time. I want to try and get in my belly button, right in that kind of little area. And then footwork I think is gonna be unique
Yeah,
slightly to everybody.
depends on arm strength in my mind.
Yeah, like a younger kid, I'm probably gonna set up cones. Like for their secondary, I'm gonna put 2 cones. So something I like is, so if I'm giving signs, I look down, not a huge difference, but like chin, nose, forehead. I'm gonna look down, I'm gonna draw an X, that's where my right foot's going. So straight down to that X, so that when I hop out, I have kind of just a natural guidelines of where I'm trying to go. And again, my thought isn't necessarily, I guess, to turn, because as I'm going, I'm naturally, like, nobody's gonna throw like this, you know what I mean? Because if kids get too turny, sometimes they get it there, and then again.
Something for me that is important is like gaining your momentum as you go.
Yeah.
So the way
Left foot, left knee.
left knee a little bit in like that will create like your set. You'll already start to like turn your feet the direction that you want to go, but it'll also like give you that on your toe feeling, like fall forward almost to like give you that momentum. So you're not like on your heels. Back.
You're always trying to walk through our
You want to be going through the baseball.
Honestly, like, you can look at, like, a really good middle infielder and a really good catcher, and, like, the actions are gonna be kind of similar. So stay through your throw. Yes, really good middle.
Yeah, I thought you
Yeah,
called me.
not hurt, yeah.
Call me?
Yeah. Ground ball, we need to work through here. Boom. So, like, in CT ground balls, like, you're trying to wait on that left heel, right? So we teach a lot of heel toe. So it's kind of that same idea. When I'm in my secondary, obviously I'm a little bit staggered, but I'm like almost trying to, feel that heel, feel my toe up, so that I can roll that left knee. Where I don't want to step with my left foot, but I'm just trying to slightly anticipate where it goes. Knee footwork that you probably, although if you do it, it's obviously going to be a lot easier from a right knee down the throw. This would be more like like if you get a scoop, something like that happens, but it's going to be kind of the same idea. You can probably show you're better at it.
Yeah. I mean,
You like left knee down throwing
If
too, but
you're thinking like kid's sake, I would never actually teach a right knee
Yeah.
down stance with runners on base to
Yeah.
a kid. That and the only way like we talk about this, the only way we would ever like advise that is if somebody has some type of like incapabilities or like just really struggle to like
couldn't do a second, couldn't do a
because I
second.
can't hold themselves in an athletic position
Yeah.
here that they can block and throw from and actually
And the alternate's what? If you can't hold yourself there.
You go like right knee down.
right knee down because it's really easy to throw from there. It's basically, if you think about it, like you're already in that cheat stance and you can just,
Pretty much like what most like
it's like the showcase
most big-
cheat,
Yeah,
honestly.
most big. It'd be the same as like You see guys in between innings, and I teach my guys in between innings to do this too sometimes. Because most coaches are dictating if they're going to run or not on the first throw of the game, right? Like, you don't have scouting reports. So if you make a good throw in the first inning, team's probably not going to run. So I'll tell them, like, okay, set up, like, start normal, and then as the pitch is coming, like, turn here. And it's going to cut off, like, a little bit of your time, and then tell your middle infielder, like, get your ass in the corner. Like, cut that throw off by, like, a foot or two. But those are, like, cheating things. But I like that, just like the X. And I like talk a lot about, like, your right foot being your ankle.
Well, because where is that X in relation to your plate? So like if the plate's here and I'm the batter.
No, the X is just a straight line down from your chin, wherever you're set up.
Yeah, so my X is, so if I'm here, I might even be a little close there. Like, I'm looking down, my X is right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when I hop.
Because are you in an ideal situation? You're trying to make this throw, but you clearly don't want to step on the plate.
Yeah, I wouldn't even talk about the plate, to be honest. Like, because I think once you start thinking about the plate, they're going to find a way to step on it. You know what I mean? It's like that, hey, don't strike out. Like, oh, I'm going to probably strike out. And that's where, like, guys will replace more. You know what I mean? Like, so if you have guys with a little bit better arm strength, you know, some guys might, like, go, like, right to your left heel, like that way more.
But I mean, you've seen a 13-year-old try to play ball at second base, and they need
Sure
to
have.
basically take a.
They basically do that. So
Yeah.
that's why, like, I would put cones down. Like, that's something I like just to, and do it standing up. Like, okay. Or do it standing up and have them have a med ball and, like, kind of squat and feel that position, feel themselves get to a strong position. Because you see sometimes guys go, like, I have a kid who does that.
Liam, I'm thinking about that smaller water bag that you got. So like,
Yep, I do, yeah, water jugs all the time.
So like
Yep.
here, taking him through
Or
that.
you have like a 6-inch box. Do that sometimes, like 6-inch box. Just step off the box and come forward.
I like to do a lot of drill work, like, from this standing position.
Yeah,
Like,
especially younger kids.
For young, like, just to feel like
Yeah,
that. Because it's hard.
Separating the hip and the shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, I can get my hips going, but I'm not.
Right. I can make this move loose and comfortable from here to create, like, all right, how am I going to get myself to move forward?
yeah. It's more that than like separating.
It's
Like
how to
just
feel,
create momentum.
how to feel my momentum going. Like, so obviously standing up, it's easier to like feel yourself fall forward and be like, oh well, I felt my chest kind of lean forward. Okay, so sometimes in a secondary, like I'll be like, okay, like instead of being here, think your chest is going to be forward more. If you think a guy's going to go, like start to lean forward, so you can feel what that's like to have your momentum.
I'm gaining my momentum here. I'm creating.
Yeah, we'd rock into your heel more. Like I'd be in my heel a little bit more. Yeah, and kind of like just trying to kind of create a little bit like where my body's not even moving. Like I'm just kind of feeling in my foot.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause I mean, like I've
Time to go.
definitely seen the videos of like Manea going down here.
Yeah, and that's like where pitch kind of dictates a little bit.
Yeah.
Wow, he came today.
So what's up?
What's going on?
I'm thinking
What else?
because we have pitchers coming in tonight. I think we start with receiving that. So like every one of the stations is a different spot for us. Like
You can do like one station. Okay, one station you can do all the med ball stuff.
the collective group is going to start with that same everydays that you were just doing with the platforms.
Sure.
Like that'll be where they go, and then roll them down the mound. The next thing is skipping Madam.
Yep.
Tennis
So
ball.
you can do even before, like do like multiple bounce. Yeah, like one bounce, a short hop, then do multiple bounces, and then do the same thing with their glove on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all about, and I know like this was a top because I told Ethan like this pocket awareness. It's the most important thing. Like you need to understand where your pocket is. I don't need my whole hand. I need to understand where my pocket is in relation to the baseball, right?
Is that what this was intended for?
I think so. I've just kind of gone away from it. Like,
Yeah.
no, not really any specific reason, but even like stuff where you do, okay, have your glove open. They're gonna flip them balls really fast, where they have to move, right? And they're not even trying to catch it. They're trying to almost like pad everything back.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like
Like
that.
that's
Like if I can throw the ball at different angles and you send it back through
same
the plate,
idea.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
going to show that I can
That
get.
you're beating, everything's working kind of back. And again, there's going to be time, like when we're actually catching, we're not like we talked about before, like not trying to pull, but then you can do certain drills like, okay, let's feel that. You know what I mean? Like you can do drills that are crazy. You can say, hey, like I used to teach guys like, hey, I want you to catch this, and I want you to try and bring it over your face. Because they, like guys, they didn't have a feel for what they were trying to do.